The state of the U.S. economy is not looking good. Although it has made some recent progress, it is still in a corner that it must get out of so people have some breathing room in their purchasing power. In this video, I will review our current economic standing as well as its trends, and tie this all together to explain how the average person's life is being affected. This will be done using 4 key metrics: the average cost of a home, interest rates, inflation, and median income. I always try to be optimistic because I believe that things eventually work themselves out, but modest personal financial success is appearing to be more of a fantasy than a reality for far too many. Yet, even so, I hope these numbers provide everyone with a jolt of energy to work not only harder, but smarter as well. No matter where the economy sits, I hope that everybody continues to pursue a life where they earn a great deal of value through their work. Right before COVID disrupted the market, the average price of a home in the U.S. was about $323,000. As of the first quarter of 2023, the average price has increased to $437,000. This is a 35% increase. Further, the average price has doubled in just the past 10 years, as the average price of a home, alongside the interest rates, which I will get to momentarily, as they remain high, becoming a first-time home buyer or even being able to level up into a nicer home will remain out of reach for your typical individual, let alone single-income family. Until the black swan event of COVID, interest rates were decreasing since 1981, when they peaked at 18%. This was the last time the U.S. experienced equivalent levels of inflation. Interest rates hovered around 3% prior to the pandemic, before shooting up to 6.8% today. This is a 125% increase. Rates have not been this high since 2002. Interest rates are often referred to as a percentage via annual percentage rate, or APR for short. For example, if you take out a mortgage loan, your interest rate will be 6.8% APR. This means that you will have to pay back 6.8% of your outstanding loan every year. Being that 80% of mortgages are for a 30-year payback period, let's continue this example assuming you have a 30-year mortgage. For your average price home of $437,000 with a current 6.8% interest rate, once you have paid off your loan, you will have spent $398,567 on interest payments alone. This brings your total payment up to $835,567, which is essentially twice the price the house sold for. Being that your average American makes about $2 million in their lifetime, the cost of your average home is nearly half of what they will ever make. At the pre-pandemic 3% interest rates, these amounts come out to $143,879 in interest and $580,879 in total. As you can see, the interest rate makes a very large difference. In this case, a $254,688 difference, or 44% difference to be exact. Over $250,000. Enough to pay for that overpriced college your kids would like to go to. Or maybe you've always wished to pull up to work in your brand new Bentley Continental GT. Or like many others, just carefully sock away some money to add some extra security, some extra cushion for your retirement. This option may be a bit more boring to dream about, but I think that people would much rather take this route than shovel all the money into their bank accounts with the bank's very high interest rates. Using the most common measure of inflation, the Consumer Price Index, CPI, inflation resides at 3%, as per the most up-to-date measure of June 2023. Looking back, inflation topped out in June of 2022 at 9.1%. This was a major change from what we saw a few months following the start of the pandemic lockdowns, when we nearly saw deflation, that is, deflation, as CPI reached 0.1%. 2015 was the last time the CPI was this low. Since then, the CPI steadily inched its way higher until early 2017. At this time, it nearly hit 3% and bounced around 1.5% to 3% until the lockdowns caused it to spike up to nearly double-digit numbers. Our current 3% CPI is not good, but it is a lot better than the 9.1%. Yet, a thought I tried to avoid, money is worth much less than what it was prior to the excessive level of money printing during COVID. For example, an item that costs $118 today would have cost $100 before the pandemic. The 2008 economic crash caused the real median household income to drop for several years. Incomes did not rise again until 2013, and this increase continued until COVID, when it fell from its peak of $73,000 to $71,000. Income has remained steady at this level since, considering that the growth of income has not been proportional to the growth of the cost of items as per the inflation rate. The earned monetary value of the income is worth less. Essentially, your dollar will get you much less than it once did. While people are making the same amount of money year over year, the increasing prices have pushed them out of the market for many goods and services, especially things that are not completely necessary, such as food. This creates a stagnated economy, meaning that the markets will be frozen with limited activity. Looking at my age group, the age when people begin to start families and purchase their first homes, they will have a difficult time because they will be so financially restricted due to the state of the economy. To connect this back to my first point on housing prices, I want to mention that the recommended maximum for how much somebody should spend on their housing expenses, such as mortgage, home insurance, and taxes, should not exceed 30%. So if you take your average household, which makes about $71,000, the maximum cost of a home they can afford is about $280,000, which is about 50% less than the average cost of a home. In short, the average cost of your home far exceeds the amount your average household can afford. Sadly, this pushes a large segment of the population, including much of the middle class, which is the staple of any stable society, into a permanent renter's economy, where it was once an obtainable life goal to buy a home in a nice, quiet neighborhood with good schools for the kids and the feeling of freedom that is associated with that. It has become more of a dream, as these once potential home buyers are locked into the congestion of the cities. Overall, the economy does not just rely on these several measures. This is an incredibly complex issue and cannot be fully looked at just by the numbers. Hopefully this video puts everything into perspective, and like I stated at the beginning of this video, although much of this analysis is discouraging, I hope it does not kill your spirits. Thank you for watching, and please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. See you next time. This is the Agency of Influence.